Hey there, I'm Lee Ullman here with some big news from the National Young Farmers Coalition. We're partnering with Heritage Radio Network on a special season of The Farm Report. It's all about what's happening with the Farm Bill and how it impacts farmers and eaters.
I am growing diversified vegetables on land that's been in our family for 150 years.
And so with the pandemic, gentrification, property values going up, we had to sell the land and we lost it.
Join us as we uncover the untold stories behind this massive piece of legislation that shapes how we grow our food, what we eat, and so much more.
The problems we have had, those are things that come from earlier Farm Bill and USDA policy, right? Like Earl Butts, get big or get out.
You know, it's my responsibility to know not only what I'm eating, but then like how that all came to be. And realize like, wow, like this piece of legislation, all this money, like it's technically something that I support as a taxpayer.
While Congress debates the next Farm Bill, this is not just an invitation to listen. It's a call to action. Be part of the conversation. Subscribe to the Farm Report on Heritage Radio Network, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you for listening to Heritage Radio Network. We're kicking off our end-of-year fundraising drive with a special discount offer from our partner, Heritage Foods USA, an online farm-to-table butcher shop specializing in heritage breed antibiotic-free meats. Donate to Heritage Radio Network before Sunday, December 4th at heritageradionetwork.org/donate, and we'll send you an exclusive discount code for 10% off all Heritage Foods products. Help ensure another year of great food radio, get 10% off delicious and sustainably produced meat, and support small family farms all in one shot. How's that for a holiday miracle? Head to heritageradionetwork.org/donate by Sunday, December 4th to make your contribution.
Hi, this is Greg Bresnitz, one half the host of Snacky Tunes. We have had the honor of being nominated by Taste Awards for Best Radio Show and Best Podcast. Please head to bit.do/STVote in order to vote for Snacky Tunes and other food favorites. Once again, that's bit.do/STVote. And a big congratulations to Heritage Radio Network for being nominated into the Hall of Fame. Thanks so much. We really appreciate it.
Today's program was brought to you by Roth, Wisconsin, makers of the world's best cheese and pioneers in the U.S. artisan cheese movement. For more information, visit rothcheese.com.
This is Mike Edison, host of Art Senses and Seizures. You're listening to the Heritage Radio Network, broadcasting live from Bushwick, Brooklyn. If you like this program, please visit heritageradionetwork.org for thousands more.
We talk about food, we talk about music, with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, snacky tunes.
Franklin.
And in the good
Hello and welcome to Snacky Tunes. I'm one half your host, Dara Bresnitz, coming to you from the streets of LA, outside of Tax Tu Madre, with Joe and Dave of Toothpix. Welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you. So you guys, how did you two meet?
I don't know. We had a mutual friend named Bill Portanova, and Bill Portanova introduced me to Joe, and I thought Joe was hilarious, and I was making a bunch of short films and little commercials and stuff, and I put Joe in some of them, and we had a lot of laughs. I think that was it, right?
Yeah, like we did a campaign for an album by the band Plants and Animals. It's a Montreal band. I'm from Montreal, and Bill lived in Montreal for a while, so that's how I met him.
Got it.
And then when I came down here, he was like, "Hey, I got a whole community," and we started hanging out. And when I was making these little like ads to promote the release of Plants and Animals album at the time or whatever, Dave helped a lot, and we just started hanging out and laughing together. That's pretty much it.
It's good. When you find someone in this world that you can laugh with, especially like when you're older, you're like, all right, I'm going to hang on to that relationship.
It's really true.
Point.
Not a lot of people really make me laugh.
Right.
Or like share the same humor.
Yeah, and sensibilities about things, you know? Like, we both also really like LA in a way that I don't really find in a lot of people. Like, a lot of people aren't really that adventurous here, and we're both committed to scratching to the deeper layers of the city.
I would say that you have made me appreciate LA more.
It's kind of neat, as like an outsider.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like, I feel the same about you. Like, I feel like, you almost feel it when you meet someone who is really, really from here.
Right.
Like, there's such a different vibe off them. They tend to be very friendly, and they have way less to prove in a way, which is really interesting. They're just less obnoxious. I always kind of gravitate towards natives, like native Angelinos.
That's cool.
So you guys, in addition to having respective film, TV careers, have been working on these short form videos that you post to your Instagram page that are 12-second, shall we say, reviews of different restaurants, but with a twist. And I want to know what got you into making these videos, and then do you see any parallels between filmmaking and food making and those types of two arts?
Yeah, well, Joe and I were having lunch one day at Koba Woo House. It's a Korean restaurant.
Yeah.
And we were looking on Yelp for different restaurants, and we found this kind of area where you can post a video on Yelp, which most people weren't using creatively. It was just kind of shots of interiors of restaurants and people waving a camera around. Sometimes there's a little montage, but nothing really sophisticated. And then we were like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we just kind of pranked that little box and we did something creative with that format? And we were kind of talking about either the restaurant we were at or some other restaurant about what it was as metaphor. It's like, oh, this.
Yeah, it's like this restaurant was. It's like having a hot tub with attractive people, like being in a hot tub with attractive, something like that. And then we were like, oh, we should shoot that and then post that as the Yelp review.
Yeah.
And then we were laughing about that and the other ways you could through metaphor or just abstract sort of reviews, like because amateur criticism is so ridiculous. It was like you can kind of do anything on Yelp. Like I could just write a novel and post a novel about my, all centered in one restaurant. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah. Not a bad idea. A novel where the only scene is the restaurant. And that's my review.
Yeah, like my review is
It's a 300-page novel. It's amazing how you can be someone like Jonathan Gold and come out with 100-person list, and these are the best things in LA. And then when you go to follow up, you're looking like Yelp or TripAdvisor or something like that, and someone's like, 2-star, and you're like, do I go with Jonathan Gold or do I go with Tater Tot Daddy 104?
Sure.
Yeah, overall kind of amateurism versus expertise is a big part of the project, I guess, for us. And what we thought would be extra funny would be to take whatever skill set we have in our working lives and apply it in a way where amateurism is king as a joke. So in other words, if people are taking Yelp too seriously, we wanted to take it even more seriously than them.
Right. Be the most serious guy in the room or something that's completely absurd.
Yeah.
And so the first video, what was the first video you made, and how did you guys, because the videos are sort of poking fun, but they're still very nice. But so what was the first video you did, and how did you guys land on the tone for these videos?
I forgot which one we actually shot for.
The first one we did was for a downtown restaurant that's very trendy in a beautiful renovated building, but the food is garbage. And we thought it was funny. We both had kind of bad experiences, and we shot that one, but it was so kind of mean-spirited. It was the wrong...
Yeah.
It was kind of the wrong...
Joe barfing all over.
It was just me barfing all over downtown. So we chucked it and got like, how can we do this better? And
yeah.
I don't know what the first one was we did.
You did Mariscos Jaliscos.
That was the first one we posted.
Yeah.
But
I think we had a day at our friend Nick Nakahara, who's one of the producers and built all the puppets.
Yeah.
He has a little home studio and with all these puppets in it, and we went over to his house, and Joe put a different, puppet on each arm for an hour or two and just started improvising.
Yeah.
And we were cracking up, and, we did one about norms, we did one about...
we just, whatever was lying around Nick's house, we just kind of tried to incorporate and thought, like, how could you, not only spoof different genres of TV, like we had one that was like a news anchor cutting to the weather person, and she's like eating this monster sandwich, just like standing there in front of the weather. Like, we tried all kinds of different stuff that we thought would be fun to parody and spoof.
And then we just kind of start texting each other back and forth, when Joe was out of town, saying, oh, we should do a spaghetti western, or we should do a film noir, or we should do... Is there a way to take the genre of a restaurant and make the film equivalent of that genre?
Yeah.
Because for me, there's so much overlap in genre, in the genre space when you're at a restaurant, either from its like art direction and the way it looks inside and the way it's been designed, to what you see and feel in a film. Restaurants are experiences,
Yeah, I mean, so you started pulling from your background, started pulling from your work within larger creations and being like, because the great thing about these videos is that they do have, some of them feel low-key, but you can still feel that there is like a lot of thought and aesthetic and production put into them.
Yeah, like, again, that's part of the joke, is like to take it seriously, And also because we want to do it right. I mean, because we can, sort of. It's just more satisfying than...
Totally. And I think Joe and I were both kind of either finishing projects or... I was finishing a long project that took a year and a half, and I was kind of like, boy, wouldn't it be fun to just make something that's so stupid in 10 seconds, and like, let's just make something quick and...
Yeah, like, to get back to that, like, childhood impulse is, like, another key point of the project. Like, how did we even start these careers, Like, before trucks were around the corner, what was it like? It was so easy. I didn't even have to think about it, It's just like... And then, like, you just get into a voice as a kid, and you start doing this voice. Like, wanted that kind of impulse, because it's really easy to lose it. And I find professionalism is often antithetical to creativity. It just sort of doesn't help with good impulses and good ideas, and imagination, because, there's all these different things involved in the way.
Now, in addition to you two, what's the rest of the team who makes these videos?
There's Nick, who I mentioned, and then there's Joe's friend Alex Reck.
Yeah, he's like a graffiti guy turned branding kind of guy. He does a lot of rap drawings, like kid-like rap drawings and all kinds of stuff. He's a total genius. Funniest guy I know, too. So he often just stands in the back of the room and barks out ideas while we're taping.
And a guy named Ryan Hendricks, who did a bunch of my short films, is producing some of them as well.
And we've also like enlisted different people that Dave and I have met over the years to help with their expertise production-wise. Like, we did a big stunt, so Dave had a pal who's amazing and helped with that. And, depending on the different...
Yeah, because sometimes it can be a few years between getting to work with some of your favorite collaborators. So you're like, hey, let's just do this quickie thing, And it's fun to kind of revisit those people or meet new people who you haven't had the excuse to work with before and just say, hey, let's use this as the excuse.
And despite, like, what people think about working for free after you're kind of professional, quote unquote, I think a lot of people, if the spirit of the thing is has integrity or whatever, has that playfulness, it is fun. I mean, we do like doing this. So it's hard when someone says, like, come over to my house, I'm having a party, and then, by the way, there's going to be a film crew there, and then you go to the party and you're like, oh man, this sucks. Like, everyone's like sitting and it's like a shoot, if you've been duped into working for free.
Right.
But this is more like coming to the playground. Like, let's just mess around, and if it's not, fun, then no pressure. You could split.
You can bail.
Yeah.
So how do you guys go about picking your restaurants?
Sometimes we come up with an idea first, and then that's like, okay, we want to do this film genre, and then we kind of back into what the restaurant is, based on either the name or kind of the reputation. Sometimes it's the other way around. Like, there's a restaurant I really want to do called Revolucionario North African Tacos. Have you been there?
No, but that name is absolutely amazing.
It's incredible, and we don't have an idea yet, but eventually we'll figure one out.
Just inspired by the exact. I was driving behind a truck today that was like Thai Mexican taco fusion, and I was like, is that just what it is now? Where you just go like, all right, what can we mash up?
Oh, dude,
today?
we had a list. We had a hot list.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up while you do other things. But we had a good list of new fusions.
But you pick these restaurants and that are sort of at the moment, and they're all focused in LA.
Yeah.
But many of the themes, you can watch them even if you're not in LA and sort of be like, okay, I get the joke and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, some of them, the idea just happens instantly. Like when I went to Howlin' Ray's, I was eating the sandwich and burning up, and I was like, it felt like the sandwich was chasing me because it's the kind of thing that's so spicy you need to keep eating it in order to cool down.
Yeah. Like if I stop now, it's just going to overwhelm me.
Yeah. So some of them, like just for me, the food is great, but the line and the feeling of the place is so informed by the people who go there.
Oh, I was dying on that one. That one with the coffee
Winchell's.
burning. The Winchell's coffee.
Yeah.
Got a rep for Winchell's.
But do you find that the response to the videos from people have been like they get the joke and like everyone's able to laugh at it, or has anyone come back and been like, that's not funny?
Oh, I'm sure people found them not funny.
Yeah.
But the response has been pretty good. I mean, because it's for free. And that's the other kind of cool thing is that we're just like, there's no money in this project. So we're like hiding this treasure and like, well, it's not about, we're not trying to sell anything. So like, it's cool treasure people could find. And be like, oh my gosh, this is like, that's part of it too. It's kind of giving that away. So you can't really be mad at it. It's like, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick musical break, listen to a live track from the Spinto Band here on Snacky Tunes, and come back and talk to Dave and Joe of Toothpix.
You should understand there's nothing to talk about. You and I may just disagree. You and I can't relate. Do you mean? What do you mean? You could hardly get to your feet. You won't leave yourself alone. How could you turn this down when it's something you needed? You left off on the telephone that you had been meaning to dial. Deny terrible you hurt yourself to the bone. You say that this doesn't matter to you. Little Lucy, oh why won't you leave yourself alone? Oh, why won't you leave yourself alone? Oh, why won't you leave yourself alone? Oh, why won't you leave yourself alone? Yourself to the bone. You say
Welcome back to Snacky Tunes. I'm here with Dave and Joe of Toothpix, who make 12-second restaurant review videos and post them for free on Instagram that are, can we say send-ups? They're send-ups.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A real classic send-up in the tradition of...
Amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Appetizers, appies for your apps.
Yeah. Apps for laughs.
Snackatizers.
Snackatizers.
So you guys have a couple dozen videos up, and you guys have really started to create this world with different characters and things like that. Can you talk about some of the characters who've started to pop up, such as the wizard or the lion, and how you came up with them?
I don't know. I think the wizard... It was just one of our
No, I know where that
texts.
one is. It's because I've noticed that stoned people go into Yogurtland and talk about it like it's some amazing place. Like it's like incredible that you can get the yogurt yourself. Like it's like this magic thing. And I know we wanted to do something about wizards, but I remember thinking like, oh yeah, Yogurtland. I don't know, there's something about that. It's like the incredibleness of yogurt. It's just yogurt, bro. It's just a bowl of yogurt. It's fine. You're going to put some breakfast cereal on there, call it a day. Like it's not genius. Dave and I went to a 99-cent store and made this wizard costume.
We were originally planning to shoot this bit where a wizard was like on top of a mountain and he was summoning yogurt with his powers, and then we built this costume for $2 out of nothing from the 99-cent store.
As a viewer, it looked way high, at least $5.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank
at
you.
least $5.
Well, the beard was borrowed from a friend, and that was at least $10. So we, and then we were like, oh, what do we do? There's no Yogurtland on top of the mountain. The ice cream is going to melt. We should just shoot it right here in the parking lot.
Yeah, and I thought, and it was funny. I mean, it's interesting as you work with this form and sort of the limitations. Have you found that, like, working literally in this box, that it's helped figure out a way to just create something new?
Yeah, I would say also it was because we were very embarrassed to shoot that one because we were right in front of the Yogurtland, and like Joe was dressing up like this wizard, and we almost didn't do it, and then we were like, what are we so embarrassed about? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, who cares?
Let's just have fun.
Oh no, we have this like you're gonna be dead one day. It was like a mantra of like you're gonna be dead one day, so it doesn't matter if everyone's laughing at you because you're dressed like a wizard summoning yogurt. It doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter. And you guys have done a lot of puppet work as well. How did you guys decide on doing like puppet work, and who?
Oh, I made a kids show, like a kids show that was like the ones we grew up on. Like kind of a throwback retro kids show, and I did 2 pilots for it. It's called Couch Fort, and I did that in Canada. So I just spent a lot of time making puppets. I also made a puppet musical. Just do a lot of stuff with puppets these last few years. So,
sure.
I had a friend who made a bunch that we incorporated, and then Nick Nakahara built puppet mock-ups of the 2 celebrity chefs, John and Vinny.
Yeah.
So that we could kind of lampoon their celebrity-like status.
And they reached out to you afterwards, right?
Yeah, they loved it.
They did. They were into it.
Yeah.
I went. Joe was out of town, but I went to have a breakfast BLT with them. They were very, very cool guys.
So it seems like the chefs have sort of been like, okay, we get it. We get the idea around a restaurant.
I think they hate Yelp, so they're glad that someone's making fun of that.
I don't know a single chef. I mean, who likes Yelp? Every chef, even the most confident one, was like, they'll have, and say, go back to Jonathan Gold, 4 stars, all this stuff, and they go, I don't know, man, this guy, they didn't like my pricing. They had to wait 5 minutes. Like,
imagine if you wrote a book and then like you put it out, and like a Johnny from down the block was like,
nah,
terrible book, everyone. And then you're like, book doesn't sell.
Right.
Like, it makes sense that they,
I wonder if the people at Yelp, when they got started, knew that it would turn into this sort of weird power. Has Yelp ever reached out to you about these videos?
They sent us a message, and they invited us to a Yelp Elite event. And
how was that?
It was a little weird. It was interesting. I mean, it was like on a skyscraper in downtown LA, and
it's just like a party with the most interesting people.
Exactly.
Just like attractive, interesting, successful people who have erudite things to say about fine dining.
In my mind, I see a bunch of people staring at their phones.
A little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit.
Maybe staring at each other's.
Yeah. But at the same time, I was like strangely drawn to them. I was like, I want to be one of them. I want to.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I want this same.
There should be like super elite. Like they should eat in different places.
Oh, absolutely.
Like different parts of the party. Be like, oh, you can't go past the stanchion.
That's the elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get designated that status. You just write a lot, right?
I think you just do a lot of reviews, but I wonder if they have to also be of a certain ilk. Like it can't just be complete. You can't just go and like 1-star everyone. Like you actually have to have like
for sure
real reviews that people
Balanced,
actually see some value in. Have restaurants reach out to you for them to come do videos?
A few, but we haven't responded to any of them because we kind of like the freedom that we have, not engaging with restaurants. And we want to. I don't know. Just I imagine would make things kind of complicated.
Oh, someone reached out to you and like was like, "Come do this," and then you want to lampoon them in a way. And
well, we haven't ever talked to a restaurant about doing one for them directly, and it's just more. I don't know. The ideas kind of come from Joe and I and Alex, and we.
It's pretty homemade and handmade.
It would be,
and like to turn it into advertising just doesn't.
That's kind of what it becomes if the restaurant has a hand in it being made.
I mean, so with this new form and doing stuff for Instagram and social and things like that, given your backgrounds and working in film and TV, do you see more freedom in this type of stuff, and do you see other people to follow this type of short form format? Like, do you see this as being a new pathway for like creations?
Yes, I see kids will get better at making videos and editing them, and the phones will get better, and then everyone will get better at doing this. So I definitely see that there's more videos coming.
I also think like I love both like food and movies, and always kind of have always weirdly had food in each of my short films for some reason. And what I'm so hyped about for this project for Joe and I is I feel like we kind of found this area where now restaurants are the topic matter, or they are the subject that you can base characters off of, you can base universes off of that. And it's kind of like, sure, could we be making videos about different types of tree and like, the trees of Los Feliz? We could.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of like a little microcosm universe that we've just found and
my hope, I guess, from the project is, that we'll just keep doing this because it's fun and hanging out, but that maybe someone will have a little confidence in us as creative kind of thinkers to do some other kind of stuff too. I really see potential for other projects that are equally subversive. I think there's lots of ways to play with the internet.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what you're saying about food and film, I feel like the only time when food ever really pops up in film is some sort of reverence. Like your Ratatouilles or Big Night Out or Tampopo, where it's just like food is not made fun of. Like it is completely celebrated. Unless you go to the complete other end, like Delicatessen, where it's like totally nuts and surreal. And so it's nice to see food treated in a completely different way with a film aesthetic.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's cool.
Food is silly and playful for me.
Yeah.
Like it's usually really, and also like you watch, I don't know what my analogy is, but you watch Woody Allen movies and there's always like, it's part of our day. People eat 2 or 3 times a day and they go to restaurants or they make something at home and it informs what their day is.
Yeah, and for me, I don't know if Dave feels this way, but I also feel like bombarded with like the number of restaurants, just like the number of videos out there to consume. They're all consumables. And so part of what's attractive to the project is to reflect the kind of avalanche of options and content options. So like that's part of the fun of it too, is like when you see the spread of the videos, you're like, man, there's so many restaurants. Like there's so many restaurants. When I was a kid, I think there was like a family restaurant and then like maybe a Greek place, but it wasn't like this, like everything is a restaurant and
It's exciting though. I mean, I find it pretty exciting because there's like mini genres and some of them are ridiculous and they're trends and you can
like
tell.
Your favorite, the Sushi Rito.
But
ramen borscht.
And you can tell when a restaurant doesn't have its heart in its own idea and it's just a trend chasing thing.
We've definitely try to set up interviews with a few chefs who will go unnamed.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, so what's the story? And they're like, oh, we thought it was a good business. And I was like,
Right.
no, but like, what's the story behind it? Like, oh, we thought that we can make a business out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, okay,
cool. So
yeah.
your
So
heart's in the right place.
Your heart's in the right place. The store will be open for someone else in 3 months.
There's a cereal restaurant in Vancouver.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's one in London.
That's ridiculous, dude.
It's like $5 to $7 for a bowl of cereal.
I want to start a cracker restaurant, like a joke restaurant, like a performance restaurant.
Like
a food
saltines,
truck.
Ritz, things
and
like
it's
that.
Every kind of cracker and like all the toppings, and have the chef be like the cigarette smoking hard ass. It's like, what do you want? And people be like, I guess I'll have a Triscuit with some cheddar. And then the guy's like, all right, like 3 for $25. Next, like just like barky like show restaurant. If someone will give me the loot for the truck, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you just call it crackers.
I would.
Yeah,
I would. Or crack.
So what's next for? What do you guys got coming next for
that's
videos?
That's next. Crack.
Crack. Are you guys?
Yeah, we got some stuff.
Yeah, we gotta. I mean, we're trying to keep pushing each other, pushing ourselves to kind of crack what the idea is, and which means we're gonna do some animated stuff, we're gonna do some meta stuff, we're gonna get weird, and
we try to rep for the city geographically. Like Instagram has this map function, and we hope to have a pretty even spread. So,
for LA.
Yeah, there's like definitely neighborhoods we need to go to.
Totally.
Yeah,
and different types of food, and
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done Little Bangladesh yet, but I'm curious. What's over there?
Any dream restaurant? Or anything that's on the list, like a number one hit? Like you know it's in your sights.
I can't wait to do Squirrel, but because we're making fun of it a bit, and that's fun. Can't wait to do El Compadre. I wanted to do this thing, El Compadre in Echo Park, where you wake up in bed with the mariachi guys, the 3 guys who play there, and be like, "Oh man, what happened?" kind of thing. There's all kinds of places to do. What else do we want to do?
I have a list in my phone that's
a mile
like
long.
300 different restaurants or ideas, and some of them are together and some of them are separate.
And the restaurants will just keep coming, so I guess we'll always just have more stuff to do.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for hanging out, eating tacos with me
Thanks
on the busy streets of LA.
Yeah.
So where can people find you guys on the net?
Toothpix with an X. That's our Instagram account. We were going to get this 92-year-old woman to run our Twitter, but that didn't work out. So we don't really have an existence that way at all. And
I don't think Twitter. I think if this airs in 2 weeks, Twitter will already be gone. So
yeah, exactly.
Burn.
Nice.
Nice.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
So that's mainly on Instagram. You can find us on Yelp, but it's really hard. So it's easier to just find us on Instagram.
I think since you guys are probably the only one who's doing anything worthwhile of video on Yelp, they're probably not putting resources to optimize video. they're not hiring in the Yelp video department. Well, thank you guys. We got live music coming up next. But first up is a track from Zambia, recorded here on Heritage Radio for Snacky Tunes.
Not supposed to be. We've got the keys
Have you tasted the world's best cheese? Grand Cru Surchoix is the 2016 World Cheese Champion. Our partners at Roth, Wisconsin make this gorgeous Alpine-style cheese in the rolling hills of Greene County, Wisconsin. Grand Cru Surchoix is produced by hand in Swiss copper vats and finished by aging on spruce planks. The quality milk and careful craftsmanship bring out the award-winning light floral notes, nutty undertones, a hint of fruitiness, and a mellow finish. Perfect with Riesling and Muscat, Grand Cru Surchoix is a guaranteed hit for any occasion. Check out their other offerings at rothcheese.com. You'll discover Buttermilk Blue and their newest release, Prairie Sunset, the golden-hued love child of Mimolette and Gouda. You'll also find recipes like the Raclette Reuben and tomato tartlets. Everything you need to know about the world's best cheese is at rothcheese.com.
Well, Aaron, welcome to Snacky Tunes.
Thanks for having me.
Riding solo today.
Yes, sir.
Band, how was the show last night?
Show was last night. Baby's all right. It was great.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys.
For sure.
They'll be on the show in a few weeks. Whole takeover hour.
So I first saw you guys play at Cameo maybe like a few weeks ago, and then did some digging and realized that you were prolifically live show playing band. Almost all the comments are like, this band plays a ton in Brooklyn, which is great because I feel like there's some bands who are like, it's our backyard, we're going to play like 3 or 4 times a year. What's your, what led you guys, do you guys say yes to everything, or is it, how selective is it?
We try and keep it to like 2 New York shows a month, so as not to oversaturate our hometown.
Yeah.
But we pretty much go out every weekend if we can to Philly or upstate, Western New York, Vermont sometimes.
Where in upstate New York?
New Paltz, Bard, the college is up there,
Oh, okay.
SUNY Purchase.
How are college? I mean, it's been, I think, probably like 8 years since I've been to a college show, since I left college.
Yeah.
8 years. What was your last college show? Oh, Matt and Kim.
Yeah.
Out in
Actually, I take that back. I went to go see a college show maybe like 5-6 years ago, and I was like, well, I'm not old, but I felt old. But how are college shows? Or, I mean, how do they differ from like where, playing in Williamsburg or Shea Stadium?
College shows are great. I think a lot of the time the kids are excited to have some band come to their school right off the bat,
Yeah.
because they're often secluded in places where they can't really get out of there.
Yeah.
And they also have a lot of money to pay us.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did college. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we both booked shows in college.
Except you went to a private school, and I went to a public university, and we had no money. But every booking agent was like, "It's a college, it's a payday." So no one would come play our university because they thought we were lowballing them. We just didn't really have any money. But I mean, it's also because you're dealing with like 18 or 19-year-old like bookers who have no concept of budget.
Well, we try not to shoot too high. You
Yeah.
know, if we enjoy hanging out at the place, we'll go there.
Do you stay over, or do you like play the show and come back?
It depends.
What does it depend on?
How far it is. Yeah. If anyone is up for driving back, staying sober.
Yeah. If you get someone to swipe you into the dining hall.
Yeah, that's always a treat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun sometimes to stay over and hang out, meet new people, and get breakfast in the morning. It's a whole nother experience at that point. So
at the dining hall, I mean,
at the dining hall,
it's like,
or the local diner.
Yeah, it's like 15 different types of cuisine all in a swipe. Or the diner experience is also awesome. Just like bottomless cup of coffee, 2 eggs, hash. What's your general diner?
Yeah, I like the standard 2 eggs, over easy, scrambled, rye toast. Just check it out.
Rye toast.
That's kind of like that's
the coffee.
Jam.
I love shitty coffee.
I don't think I've ordered anything else other than 2 eggs in some form in the last. That could be my last meal if I was on death row. 2 eggs.
2 eggs.
2 eggs toast.
3 eggs sauce.
But they probably wouldn't have rye toast.
Imagine you were on death row and you ordered like 2 eggs over easy and they came out hard.
Oh, the yolks weren't running?
Could you send it back?
Can we put this off?
Hey man,
get the eggs.
Hey, listen man, I ordered
right.
this over easy. This is over hard.
So take us back a little bit to the start of Porches and a little bit of self-history.
Well, Porches started, I think, beginning of 2010. I had just dropped out of college. I was studying painting at SUNY Purchase, and I went on tour with my old band for about a month and a half. One of our friends took us out, and once I had a little taste of that, I kind of knew that, I wanted to really continue performing and touring and pursuing music as much as I could. So I decided to not go back, and have been pursuing it since. And so once we got back from that tour, I feel like it was a very big learning experience, and I wanted to start from scratch. So I found this keyboard on tour, and when I was home, you kind of get like post-tour depression sometimes when you're out there every night and like you play and it feels great and it's fun, and then you get home and you're like, oh man, like when's the next one? So that's when Porches started.
Get back on the road all the time?
Well, as the years have gone by, it's less, the kind of glitter of touring is worn off a little bit. It's still fun. But anyways, I was back at my mom's house, no job, so I was in the basement every day working on these tracks, and that's how Porches came about.
What were some of the lessons that you learned from being on the road? What was the band you went out with? What was the name of the band?
It was called Space Ghost Cowboys, and we were supporting this solo artist, Ramona Cordova.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, up until that point, I had lived a pretty sheltered life in the suburbs, and I went to college 20 minutes away at SUNY Purchase. So just to travel and like meet all these new people making really exciting music was really inspiring, and kind of lit a fire under my booty to step it up.
Can we hear a song?
Yeah. I will play a song. It's called Zanzibar. Does your knuckle tattoo say nice fish?
Fish and rice.
Fish and rice. I'm going to get one that says nice fish.
Let me get one to the Zanzibar.
I couldn't help from noticing you across the bar. Hello, I'm running, I'm falling apart. Do you want me bad, like I want you? You said I'm Edith and I've always been a mess. Well, nice to meet you, maybe we'll undress, but we could just slide down. We both could use the rest. So I hold on, I hold on to a dim-wit cigarette, and I take a deep breath, 'cause I know you can. And I felt to greatness when I laid within your grassy realm, crawled across the floor to a patched up helm. Your hips the balmy swell in porno hell. And I said, hey, would you wanna join the loner metal band? And you said maybe we could just hold hands. Well, if that's the only place they'd land, I'd die a happy boy. So I hold on, I hold dim with cigarette, and I take a deep breath, 'cause I know you can't. I know you can't.
Awesome. So from Mom's Basement to playing your first show as Porches, what was that journey?
Well, I recorded the first Porches EP with my friend up in Ithaca. It was 5 songs. I released that before I had any band together, and was asked to go on tour again, and I was just going to try it by myself with an iPod and singing. So there was like a little stint where that's how it went. And it was funny. It was okay. You know, it's definitely not like playing in a band. So then I got a guitar player to play while I sang to the iPod, and then ultimately we got a drummer. For a while we were using the electronic backing tracks, and then once the band was in order, we kind of did away with that because it was more trouble than it was worth at that point. Just I was not having that much fun performing it.
Well, I mean, there's no spontaneity. Like,
right.
You're like it.
It was just play. Like the dictator of the band was the iPod, and it was, you know.
Hey man, he's being a real dick today.
Yeah.
Real dick.
So we kicked him out.
Yeah.
And,
just snapped it in half.
There you go. I don't think you're working out.
Yeah. Siri, can you fire?
Yeah.
Can you fire, please? But you know, funny and okay in early days is kind of awesome. I mean, it's frustrating then, but to like be like, you know, these are just, you know, early days of figuring stuff out.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good, long, slow process of getting the group we have together today. But you know, it's worth it because it's the best group Porches has had yet. So happy.
You want to shout out your band members?
Yeah, I would like to do that. There's Cameron Wish.
Shout out
in Bushwick. On drums. Greta Klein. Frankie Cosmo's having a band practice in Crown Heights. Kevin Ferrant is on his day off. His teacher. And then there's Say Jewel. Also his day off. Works at a Japanese restaurant in Midtown.
Look at that crossover. Snacky Tunes. Bringing
Snacky Tunes.
guys in bands who work with guys in Japanese restaurants and a guy.
But as far as, you know, the evolution, so where does the songwriting process sit now, or is it still you and the executor? How does it work now that you have, you know, outside influences?
Well, I always have written the songs first, often demo them first, and up until this record that we're starting to work on now, I've gone to the studio by myself first for a couple weeks and laid it all out, and then we learned them as a band after the fact, which was okay. You know, it's interesting, but then you start coming up with these ideas that you wish you had thought of before you know,
laid
pressed
it down.
it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at this point, this is the first time we're really working out the tracks all together. I've recorded like 20 new demos for the new record since the summer, and kind of like slowly choosing which ones to work out with the band and have my demos and meet somewhere in between this time.
Got it. You want to play us another song?
Yeah, I'll play a new track that
Ooh.
we've been
Porches Low on Snacky Tunes.
Man, I wish there was a place everything will be okay. And I wanna believe that all I need is some security. All I want, security.
Nice.
Nice.
I want to go back to a comment you said about going on the road, kind of like expanding and like opening. It's like how is your world outlook and how has being a musician changed since that first tour? You know, what have you kind of come to understand that you maybe didn't quite see beforehand?
Well, first off, there's a lot of live music that I hadn't seen live before. It's totally different when you see someone doing it in real life. And you're like, oh, that's cool, that's possible, and it kind of just opens up that whole realm. And I don't know, it was just, you know, the whole thing about it was appealing to me. Just being on the road, long drives, meeting new people, and scraping by, doing what you love to do more than anything else. It was the first time that, you know, I had done it and realized it was possible, so I just wanted to continue doing that.
You know, it's very rare that anyone can say that they've done the thing they love to do the most.
Yeah, I have to be very good at telling myself that, because every now and then the real world swings at you pretty hard, and you have to just reassure yourself that you're in the right place, because there's nothing else that I would rather be doing, and it's difficult sometimes. But yeah, not to get all cheesy, you get one shot, so you may as well do what you love at all costs.
I mean, I think that what a lot of people say, and I'm sure, Chef, you can weigh in on this, is that, like, doubt truly never goes away. And I think that if it does, you're living in a dangerous place where...
I think the moment you think you make it, or the moment like you're like, we've arrived, or
yeah,
I got it, is the moment you actually suck, or the moment you start to fall off. So it's like, just don't ever. Just don't... Like, you'll know when you've made it, when you look back and you see like a fucking trail of, you know, shit kicked out of your way, you know, or like...
It's funny, they don't...
Or
really,
a trail of shame that you haven't made it. You know?
They don't really teach that, or that's not really in society anymore, that it's going to be failure and you're going to have missteps. It's all about instant success and winning, and no one tells you really that. I mean, and if the story is about struggle, it's a very nice, prepackaged, really easy to swallow that at the end of the road of struggle there'll be success. No one ever tells you that it's mostly no's and failures for a long time, that's sprinkled in with achievement and things like that. It's tough.
Peppered lightly and seasoned with, you know, slight gratification, but the bottom line is, you know, as long as you're, if you get on stage and you're happy, as you look into the mic and you're happy, dude, if I look down the cutting board at like the fish I have, like that my knife is sharp enough to cut through this beautiful fish, like it's like, it's that moment. It's like, hey, this is where we am. You know, like
yeah.
this is what it's about. It's not about reading your name in the paper, or like, you know, like pushing some link on your phone to like some blog about you sort of thing. Like that's not arriving. You know, arriving is being able to do what you love, and not having it be a fucking hobby. Pardon me. You know, like not having it be like you're not doing it on Saturdays and Sundays anymore, right? You're not in your mom's basement anymore. You're doing what you want to do. You know, like I'm not just making sushi for my girlfriend on my day off now. I'm not buying salmon and making, you know, like salmon rolls or like little salmon like tartars anymore, like I did when I was 24. You know, like
lucky girl.
You know,
yeah.
Tell her that.
No, fucking hobbies into fucking careers is fantastic.
Yeah, dreams, baby.
Dreams.
Yeah,
Dare to dream.
Just drink that much. And Aaron, you were talking about this while we were playing a song. It's like now people are telling you like, you know, that it's a career, or, you know, using that word.
Yeah, it's just starting to seem like it could, you know, turn into some sort of sustainable thing for however long, you know, who knows. It's all been a very slow burn, and there's been no serious breaks or kind of buzz that just shot up. So I feel like a lot of people are rewarded, you know, a slow burn. It's a slow, steadier success. You don't just shoot up and shoot down. So it's exhausting sometimes, and it's frustrating to just have been at it and just see, you know, so many of my friends just beating me to it. But what I've been thinking about lately is that even if I tried to stop, I couldn't. So there's no point in wasting my time being upset about that shit. I just have to just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, I'm hoping we got linked up with a nice booking agent working on the new record.
And
so we'll see.
Tour in 2 weeks, right?
We're going on tour in 2 weeks. Yeah, we're going out to Chicago and back.
Nice.
18 dates in a row. Should be interesting.
You going out with anybody, or is it
just going out with the band?
Nice.
That's great. And you're headlining, or are you opening, or?
We're headlining. Yeah, I booked the whole thing.
DIY, man.
DIY, all to the max.
Can you imagine doing that back in the day with no internet and emails?
I think about that every now and then, because when you start to book a tour, it is all consuming. Those 3 months leading up to it. You're just on the computer all day, waiting for people to get back to you. And
it's like, I need this one day to fall in place. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, your dreams should exhaust you. Like,
yeah,
that's just what it is. It's just
if you're not tired, you're not working hard.
If you're not tired, I mean.
Well, the thing is, I mean, it's nice to have a booking agent now, because like it's been those 3 months
shout him out.
Working on music. John Chavez.
Hey, John is amazing.
You're a beautiful man. Yeah. We're excited.
Dude,
to
all
be
the
on
PR
board.
people, all the guys and girls behind the scenes, they're the best. I mean, they're the best.
John is one of the hardest working booking agents that I've ever met.
You got a good guy.
Yeah,
you got a good guy in your court.
Got a real good feeling with him.
So listen, we gotta wrap it up because we have another show coming in, but.
And we'll get one more song.
We got to get one more song, but shout out to Sushi Co. Shout out to Porches. Do you want to give us the nuts and bolts of where people can find you online, or albums and all that stuff and shows?
Yeah, you should check out Porches Music at band.bandcamp.com.
Shout out to Bandcamp.
Porchesmusic.bandcamp.com. Shout out to Bandcamp. Look us up on Facebook. Ronald Perry on Tumblr.
And I'm sorry. Wait, what is that on Tumblr?
Ronald Perry.
Okay.
And for all booking inquiries, just reach out to John.
Yeah, hit up John.
Oh, can I mention one thing about Sushi Co? That the soundtrack is like 90s hip hop, and it's amazing. It's where we grew up. It's this delicately made sushi thing and it's just regulators.
Yeah.
Mount up.
Mount up.
Mount up.
Mount up, man.
Last thing is we have our final bar food blowout
of the first season,
which is going extremely well. It's on March 11th. Tickets are on sale now.
Speedy Romeo, Justin in the house,
and Sin Kane, a Snacky Tunes favorite, will be on the digital 1s and 2s.
It's a barfoodmarch.eventbrite.com. $20 gets you a plate of food, a shot of whiskey from Powers, and Brooklyn Brewery beer. Yeah. $20. So you get to kick it with us, and all the Holiday Pork Slip guys will be in the house.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for everyone coming by. Aaron, take us out with one more. What's the name of this song?
In the Mood.
Ooh.
Another new jam.
New jams here on Snacky Tunes.
I just wait around to hear the good news, to hear the good news. I just wait
I think I said the wrong Don't know what I do, but I don't wanna be here. Don't wanna be here. I just wait around to hear the good news. To hear the good news. If you want to be on your way, well, you don't have to stay. We talk about food. Talk about music with musical dudes. Finger on the pulse, Snacky Tunes.
Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network, food radio supported by you. For our freshest content and to hear about exclusive events, subscribe to our newsletter. Enter your email at the bottom of our website, heritageradionetwork.org. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at heritage_radio. Heritage Radio Network is a nonprofit organization driving conversations to make the world a better, fairer, more delicious place. And we couldn't do it without support from listeners like you. Want to be a part of the food world's most innovative community? Rate the shows you like, tell your friends, and please join our community by becoming a member. Just click on the beating heart at the top right of our homepage. Thanks for listening.